Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So nice to meet you again. So today is our group discussion number 3 and we are going to present our artwork. So before that, let us introduce ourselves first. So my name is Nur Sabrina binti Azman. My metric number is 198057.
Hi, my name is Anis Ashiki binti Rodli and my matrix number is 197053.
Hi, my name is Intan Aida Zulaika binti Abdul Aziz and my matrix number is 202787.
Hi, my name is Nur Alin Hawani binti Muhammad Abdul Halim and my matrix number is 203562.
Hi, my name is Siti Mariam Hazrani binti Muhammad Azlan and my matric number is 198213.
My name is Farrell Josh Sabin. My metric number is 196746.
Right, so thank you everyone. So now we are going to start presenting our comic. So can I ask Mariam to share the screen first?
Okay, I will share the screen now. Can you just see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So 6 of us has different roles. So we have dialogue draft. I'm doing the dialogue draft, and Farrell doing the first sketch. Eileen doing the second sketch. Anis wrote the dialogue. Zulaika color the comic, and lastly Mariam arranged the comic. So, who wants to start to explain their role first?
I think you should
Maybe I
go
can
from the
start.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm in charge of the first sketch, and my job is what I did was draw just a rough draw sketch of it, like a general overview to see how the characters will look like in the drawings, and to give like a starting point to um, to the next person for the final sketch. So what I did was for, the characters, unlike the one presented, are merely stickmen. Yeah, there's it's not as pretty as the characters here, and there's not much details to it. Um, all of it, yeah, all of it are just characters in it with no dialogues yet, uh, and yeah, I think that's about it. Just maybe the little details I did are the hand gestures and the facial expression, uh, and the rest is the improvement of the drawing is done by Alin. So that's all from me.
Okay, so thank you, Farid. So Farid has done the first draft before it has been improving by Aline. So can Aline tell us about the final sketch of this comic?
Yes, sure, Sabrina. So I was in charge for the second sketch of this comic, which is a finished rendition of the first sketch by Pharrell. What I did was rechecking placement of the subject or the characters are in place, and I add some small details. For example, the chair that the mother is sitting on, and the clock on the wall, and the character's attire, and etc. And also, I make the background like the scene is at home, and Lastly, I keep the whole comic simple and keep maximum space for the dialogue, which was done in the next step by Anis. Yeah, I think that's all I did for the second sketch, final sketch.
Thank you, Eileen. So Eileen has beautified and improved this comic until you can see the final draft here. So I have done the dialogue draft. So based on our discussion last week, we have come up with the rough ideas how the dialogue's going to be. So I have draft my first my idea first, and then I give to Anis to improve the sentence and all the grammars. So maybe Anis can continue.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Sabrina. So basically, from the last discussion, we have discussed about what are we going to talk about in each steps, I mean the strip. So Sabrina has drafted the dialogue first, which mainly consists of the points and also some examples for the dialogue, but just a simple words. And then I just improvise in terms of making a full sentence for the comic. And also I also included some facts from WHO and also CDC in terms of about the death rate among the vaccinated people. So that's all I did. Just improvise what Sabrina has done and make a full sentence to make a complete comic strip.
All right. So thank you, Anis. So Anis has come up with the final dialogue and add on about the WHO and WHO information. So next, Zuleika has done the color. So maybe Zuleika can explain about how you choose the color background.
So I'm in charge and color the comic. So basically, I just took only like 30 to 1 hour to finish the coloring, and I just do a simple color that suit for this comic and look interesting. So is it interesting, guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
It is
Okay.
interesting.
Yes.
the color is
So
attractive and
Yes.
eye-catching too.
so like if you guys can see start from first frame until fourth frame, the mother and Sarah use gray and red clothes. Then after 4 months, I use different color to indicate the time after 4 months, like that. And then for 6 and 7 frame, I just use I color the background in green, meaning that it is like successful that like finally the mother and Sarah um believe in vaccination and got their vaccination. And yeah, maybe that's all for me.
Right. Thank you, Zulaika. So I think it is a very good idea to use different color for different time setting to differentiate the plot lah. So lastly, this comic has been arranged by Mariam. So is Mariam here? I think Mariam has left. Um, so maybe we can explain the uh, final comic, final plot of this comic. So maybe I can start with the first frame. So the first frame is as we discussed last week. The mother got shocked from the news she got from the Facebook. So maybe anyone want to explain the second frame?
Oh, sorry, just now I disconnected.
So maybe we can continue with Mariam. So Mariam has done the arrangement of this comic. So maybe you can explain how you arrange this comic, why you do the vertical one.
Okay. Thank you, Sabrina. So actually, we discussed in the last video discussion that we want to do it horizontally, the comic horizontal and from left to right. But then we change to a vertical arrangement, which is from up to down. And yeah, as you can see, there's I put the numbers there to actually know where the sequence go, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Yeah, because we realized that the column number 5 is have very much explanation. So we want to make it a bigger space. So I decided to go on the vertical comic arrangement, and yeah, that this is how it turns out. That's all
Yes.
from me.
So thank you, Mariam. So the numbering makes the reader more clearer on the flow of this comic. So now I think after we have explained our rule, maybe we can discuss about this final comic that we have done. So the title of this comic is Vaccination. So it's about a chatting between kids and the mother about vaccination and how the mother didn't believe the vaccination at first. So I have explained the first frame then. So maybe someone can explain the second frame.
The second
Uh,
frame.
Yes.
Okay.
Does anyone wants to explain the second frame, or should I go? In the second frame.
Maybe I can explain the second frame.
Okay, in the second frame, as you all can see here, the mother was okay. First, the mother was shocked, and then her child, the girl, heard the mother screamed, and then she told Sarah that about the news she saw on the Facebook, and immediately tell Sarah to not get the vaccine. And wait, that was third frame. In the second frame, she told Sarah about the news that 3 people died from the vaccine. Like, I think that's all for the second frame.
So thank you, Eileen. So basically, the second frame is the mother got shocked because of the headline of the news she read. So for the third frame, who likes to explain it?
Maybe I can explain a bit.
Okay.
For third frame, the mother show her phone to Sarah and said, "I am scared, Sarah. We should not get the vaccine." Then Sarah feels weird why her mom does not want to get the vaccine. So like out of the curiosity, Sarah then asks her mom, where did you read it? Maybe Sarah feels a bit scared because her mom refused to get a vaccine and might be her mom is anti-vaccine, something like that.
So So thank you, Zulaika. So for the third frame, the mom showed the headline to the Sarah, and this is the start of the chatting, the dialogue between the mom and Sarah. So the fourth frame, yeah, next.
Maybe I can explain about it. Okay, so the from the third frame, she asked her mother, where is the source? So in the fourth frame, the mom told Sarah that she got it from, so this is we change it a bit, field book. Yeah, it's a social media. Okay, based on our discussion last week, her source is the social media, and Sarah asked her mother to let her see and read the news, and the news will be on the next frame. So that is all in frame 4.
So thank you for the fourth frame explanation, Faril. So next, the fifth frame is the largest frame. So maybe someone can explain about it.
I can explain about the fifth frame. So basically, Sarah asked the mother for the phone to see about the news that her mom has told her. So firstly, it shows the field book page where it is about the news. 3 people died after receiving COVID-19 vaccine. That's the headline. But when Sarah read the news, it is actually it stated that there is no evidence that the 3 people died because of vaccine. Because basically the 3 people have history of chronic diseases, and the time frame of their death is very different. Which one of them died 2 months after vaccination, and the other two is around 4 to 5 months after vaccination. So in this picture, it shows that actually the mother only read the headlines, and the headlines is actually does not reflect the news, the actual news, which the actual news about 3 people died, that 3 vaccinated people died, but it does not say that it is because of vaccine. So moving on to the next picture, which shows KKM and also WHO. So basically, Sarah like show her mother about the KKM website and also the WHO website. So in the KKM website, it has stated about the 3 death. Uh, um, it it stated that the 3 death is not because of vaccine, which there is no evidence, and it shows that 0.01% death reported among the vaccinated people, which means, for example, if 3,000 people got the vaccine, but only like maybe 20 people died. So, and there is no evidence shows that the vaccine is the root cause for the death among people. And in the WHO website, it stated that COVID-19 vaccine is totally safe. So this picture just want to show that want to convince her mother that the vaccine is totally safe and the death is not because of the vaccine itself. So that's all for the fifth frame.
So thank you, Anis, for the great explanation. So in the fifth frame, we try to provide the reader with right source about COVID-19 and not just read from somewhere on Fieldbook or Facebook. So lastly, not lastly, second last for the sixth frame, maybe Mariam can explain the details of this frame.
Okay, so on the sixth frame, and should I explain the last two?
Yeah, sure.
Or Okay, so the last two frame, which is frame 6 and frame 7. Actually on the frame 6, we want to give out the reader about the tips on reading the news, especially during COVID-19. So actually Sarah is explaining the tips and to when you are reading the news. Such as when you read the news, you must read at official website, must know the success rate of the vaccine, and you must also to refer to reliable sources such as KKM, WHO, or CDC. And in the last frame, it shows that both of them, Sarah's mother and Sarah, got the COVID-19 vaccine after 4 months later. And then that's the end of our comic strip for vaccination.
So thank you, Mariam. So basically that is all about our comic. So from my opinion, I think that I am very satisfied with this comic from all aspects, such as the plot, and I think there's lots of lesson that we can learn from this comic. So one lesson that I get from this comic is you must refer to a right source before believe any news that you read across social media. So maybe anyone wants to tell the lesson they got?
Maybe the moral of the story from this comic is actually don't easily trust fake news because it gives such a big impact to us. Yeah.
As for me, from the comic, I think what I learned is to read the news carefully because sometimes the headline is not reflecting the content. So people should be cautious when looking for the news. Don't only read the headlines, but also read the content carefully. And also, I like the comic, overall comic in terms of the color and all that, because it looks nice and the message can be, I can easily understand the message written. So yeah.
I think for me, one of the moral of the story is find the original source or reliable source in looking for information, because rumors can spread very quickly and misinformations happen very often. So once we learn to seek out the reliable sources and or the original sources, it's easier to understand about a new information. Yeah.
As for me, I think that moral of the story from making of this comic, I think that we know there are a lot of anti-vaxxers and anti-vaccines out there, and I think this comic really shows some an eye opener to someone who likes to read the headline news only. And we know that headline news are usually for to attract the attention of reader, and that's why they make such a headline that is sometimes is confused for some people. But for ourselves that we know, reading something from reliable source is a must, and don't trust something as what you just read on the cover. Oh yeah, that's it. saying that you don't judge a book by its cover. So I think that can be used. Yeah.
I
So
think all of you has mentioned all the lessons that we can get from this comic. So yeah, Sabrina, proceed.
yes, so I believe that we all learn lots of things from making this comic, and we also give lots of, not lots, just some information to the reader about the current vaccination case. So I think that's all for this, for the group discussion today. So maybe we can decide our next group discussion, the date. Do we want to do this the same date as today?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we can do the same day
Yes,
and time.
I agree.
I agree.
So
Okay.
for the next discussion is we did about we're gonna do the second comic strip, right?
Yes.
So what's the theme?
So our second comic theme is about students' life. Is it?
Yeah, about how students should cope with their struggles.
So yeah, that's the theme of our next video, and we are going to discuss further about that. So I think for today, that's all. And I want to say thank you to everyone who comes today, and I hope to see you again next week. So thank you for coming, for spending your time today.
All right,
Bye.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.